Hello everyone, I'm going to Retro Konsol Marked 2025. Well, when you're watching this I've already went, so put next year into your calendar. I believe it's my 5th time going to this event, and as usual I am bringing a friend. One, because it's fun, chit-chatting and stuff, but also because I also want to go and visit the other booths, and I don't want to leave mine alone while I do that. On this scrap piece of paper I have laid out how I roughly want my booth to look like this year. We have one table going like this, but also one going the other way. It's not a corner booth. Well, it's unlikely to be a corner booth, I don't know yet. There is a good reason I want one of the tables to be laid out like that. These things right here are these DVD case holders, which I think makes the games look really nice like this, and you can see all the prices along here. Plus you can do this. These squares right here represent all of these blue boxes that I have. I have a bunch more of these, and these will display all of the special items, the unique things that I have. Everybody here is gonna have Just Dance 4, but not everyone is gonna have the very first game for the video pack. That is something that would absolutely go over there. And the table going the other way here will have all of the various controllers and consoles and all the kind of stuff that just takes up space. But this also serves a second purpose, because I always like having a CRT displaying something, and I'm thinking Duck Hunt this year, meaning that people need a little bit of distance, because Duck Hunt is not fun when you're all up close. I would of course love to bring it all in my tiny little Master 2, but I don't think I could fit the tables in there, so I have to do some other stuff. At least that was what I thought. Turns out I actually underestimated how big the door in the back is. I can comfortably fit both tables in here, and probably all of the games I'm gonna sell too, and still have 2 seats left. A big thanks to my friend for remembering to take a picture of the booth before guests were allowed in. It was very packed this year, which was both a blessing of course because many customers, but also a curse because I only got one table out and the other one behind it instead of the setup that I had hoped for. And it was really difficult to find a spot, even though we were there only about 15 minutes after it had opened to sellers. At 10 AM the doors are opened and the customers flood in, and we already have someone playing Duck Hunt on my TV. Here's a game that I hadn't seen before, but I love the title of it, Galf. Apparently Philips had set up video pack production in Denmark right here. I wonder if mine is made in Denmark too. I saw this PVM, which I believe is a 5-inch, but it is so deep that I think it's actually deeper than the 13-inch CRT that I had bought. This Mega CD console was also here last time, and I also really wanted it just like now, but I believe it had a 32X next to it last time, which wasn't here now. As someone who loves obscure racing games, especially on the 6th gen consoles, this really hurts to see, because I once had the opportunity to buy this exact game for just 5 kroner at a thrift store, and here it is at 300. I believe this was the biggest booth of the whole event. It was just one game store that brought their entire stock. Nothing was priced. You had to go to their website to find the prices, which kind of kills the joy out of it, doesn't it? You can blame these for making me have to stick to just one table instead of 2. 3 PM quickly came around and it was time to go home. Alright, we are now back from the convention, and here are some of my pickups. The first thing I found was all of these Atari 2600 games. They were quite cheap, because they were only 65 kroner each, so 390 total. They are all boxed and most of them have manuals, but something I did not notice was that a lot of these are NTSC. As far as I can tell, this means that they will work, but the colors will look very different. But that's kind of a bummer, but still. Boxed Atari 2600 games in this year is really cool to find, especially for a price like that. The next thing I found was all of these game magazines. Some of them are in English, like Edge and both the Xbox magazines, and then the rest of them are in Danish. They were just 5 kroner each, which is really cheap because usually game magazines goes from like 50 and up, sometimes up to 150. So for 5 each they were a steal, and even on top of that I got a discount because there's 28 of them for 100 kroner, which otherwise would have been 140 without a discount. And the last pickups were all of these, starting with McDonald's Global Gladiators for the Sega Master System. At this point there wasn't a lot of time until the convention was ending, so sellers are more likely to give you discounts. And I got this one, which was supposed to be 80, but I paid 50. It's completed and in very nice condition, and I've heard good things about this game, which you wouldn't expect considering it's McDonald's. Then there's this game. It is Quirk for the Game Boy. It's not really special, but it's one of the very first games I became interested in when I started looking for retro games. It's one of those box-moving puzzle games like Voxel and probably a few others. And for the same reasons as before, I also paid 50 for this one. Then we have a PlayStation 4 camera, which I have wanted for a while, because I've been kind of curious with Astrobot, you know, the built-in game that there is on my PS4. And then after the convention was ending and all the sellers, including me of course, was packing up, the booth next to me had seen that I had a bit of interest in Streets of Rage 4. I already own it on PS4, but I did not remember it at the time. I genuinely thought I had the Switch version. So I bought this one, limited run version, which has the CD soundtrack, which I find really cool. But then I came home and discovered that I owned the PS4 version. So now I have a bit of a dilemma. Do I want to keep this one and have the CD soundtrack? Or do I want to keep the one I already have and keep my save file, which I've worked a bit on? I don't really know yet. And because of it was the end of the con, I didn't pay 500, I just paid 300. And looking back, 300 was even a bit expensive. It should have been closer to 200, maybe 220. But that's too late now. After a bit of consideration, I found out that this CD was also sold with the PS4 version at some point. So really it doesn't matter from a collector's perspective. Yeah, I kept it. The disc itself is currently in my car. Now, my friend isn't a collector at all, but she does play a few games, mostly Nintendo handhelds. And she purchased Professor Layton and the Curious Village for just 50 kroner. And that was everything for this video. Thank you for watching.